How to make yourself virtually identity theft proof in 60 minutes or less for free. Brought to you by truthaboutcreditrepair.com. The FBI has called it the fastest growing crime in America. Close to 10 million Americans every year are victimized by it, and the costs are estimated at $50 billion annually. Many criminals get off easy while the victims spend years working to restore their damaged credit reports and reputations. Worse yet, there seems to be no end in sight. Many experts conclude the popularity of the crime is simply growing faster than the solutions to stop it. The task of recovery is so time-consuming and tedious, multiple states have now resorted to creating identity theft passports for victims in an attempt to ease the pain for them as they endure the lengthy and frustrating cleanup process. By the end of this video, I will share with you the secrets of making yourself virtual identity theft proof in 60 minutes or less for free. I use the term secrets because less than 1% of the country are aware of these techniques, let alone practicing them. If Americans took these preventative steps, up to 99% of all identity theft would be eliminated overnight. However, why this beneficial approach is not being made common knowledge in the mainstream media is something I will not disclose in this video. For the moment, I believe the biggest crime one can commit is to not share this information with their friends, family, and coworkers. By the end of this video, you'll understand why. Unlike other authors covering this subject, I will not insult your intelligence by sharing common sense tips like don't carry your social security card or PIN number in your wallet or purse, or keep all data-sensitive documents like credit card and bank statements locked up in your home or office. To say the least, this is elementary advice at best. The key to protecting yourself from identity theft is to look at what the masses are doing and then do the opposite. Almost 70% of Americans are now shredding all their mail-in documents, and many are even subscribing to credit monitoring services or buying identity theft insurance in an attempt to protect themselves. While this is better than doing nothing, it's a far cry from any kind of true security. Study the past to predict the future. Contrary to popular belief, statistics show that the majority of identity theft does not result from the internet as most consumers have been led to believe. In fact, less than 10% of identity theft cases where data compromise can be determined originated online. In almost 50% of cases, consumers are the ones who detect the breach. In nearly 40% of cases, the criminal was someone who was in close contact with the victim. An example, a friend, relative, neighbor, coworker, in-home employee, waiter or waitress, or financial institution employee. In the end, nearly 1/3 of all identity theft cases come from a stolen wallet or purse, checkbook, or credit card. More interesting, the age of the primary victim is lowered. If you're between the ages of 25 to 34, you're now on the largest target for the crime. 65 plus has now become the smallest. The bad news is that while identity theft nationwide is on the decline, 8.9 million victims last year down from 9.3 million the previous, the dollar amount per victim is now going up. $6,383 last year, up from $5,885 the previous year. Also increasing is the number of hours victims spend cleaning up the mess. 40 plus hours last year, up from 28 hours the year prior. We've all heard the saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, yet no one is practicing it in the pandemic of identity theft. Credit monitoring is nice, but only 11% of consumers ever catch identity theft through this means. Identity theft insurance, according to many experts, is even more of a hoax, a product marketed by playing on the fears of American consumers, which does nothing more than assist them in cleaning up the mess only after their identity has been stolen. The following is a completely different approach to preventing and protecting yourself from identity theft. It is based on the reality that we now live in a world where there is zero privacy of personal data, meaning your name, address, phone number, social security number, date of birth, even your mother's maiden name can be obtained by anyone for a fee. If you feel this is paranoid thinking, allow me to quickly share the story of Amy Boyer. In 1999, Ms. Boyer had an old high school classmate come back into her life many years after graduation. The old classmate obtained Amy's social security number and other personal information by paying DocuSearch Incorporated only $150. After the classmate shot Miss Boyer to death, he then turned the gun on himself. Today, the company tells visitors to its website that not all searches are available to the public, and some are reserved for the investigative and legal industry only. How's that for Homeland Security? With this different approach, we break down identity theft into two distinct categories. One is basic identity theft, and two is credit hijacking. By definition, basic identity theft is when the perpetrator steals your identity and then uses it to obtain new credit accounts for their personal gain. Credit hijacking falls under a criminal stealing your identity in order to access and use your existing credit accounts. Each type of fraud is different, and therefore so is your plan of defense. Basic identity theft defense. The best proactive defense against basic identity theft is through the placing of an initial fraud alert on all three of your credit reports. This can only be done if you feel your identity and/or personal information has been compromised. This initial fraud alert accomplishes three important factors. 1. Your name and personal information can no longer be sold by the credit bureaus to any third parties for any marketing purpose. An example, credit card offers, loan solicitations, or credit pre-screenings. 2. No one can be approved for any credit with your personal information unless the creditor personally calls you at the telephone number listed on your consumer credit report. And 3. Requesting this initial fraud alert entitles you to a free copy of all three of your credit reports, one copy from each of the three major credit reporting agencies. Please be advised that this is only an initial fraud alert, which lasts only 90 days. To extend the fraud alert and obtain the above-mentioned benefits for 7 years, you'll need to write each credit bureau at the address provided with your initial fraud alert confirmation letter and provide additional information. Please note, it is likely credit bureaus will make the extended fraud alert harder to obtain, as a great deal of their revenue each year comes from the third-party rental and sale of your personal financial information. Credit hijacking defense. Most online merchants now utilize a security feature known as address verification, or AVS for short. AVS is a security feature for online merchants, allowing them to only authorize credit card transactions for merchandise to be shipped to the same address which appears on your credit card billing statement. If the address does not match that of the credit card billing statement, the transaction will automatically be declined. In other words, if someone gets your credit card number, expiration date, and CVV code, the 3-digit code on the back of the card, the only way a transaction can be authorized online is if the merchandise is shipped to the same address that your credit card billing statement is currently sent to. This is what makes credit hijacking so dangerous. When a criminal hijacks your credit, they call up the banks, posing as you, and change your address on your credit cards with your personal information. An example, the last 4 digits of your social security number and/or your mother's maiden name, etc. As if you were moving, this is played off. They then proceed to order thousands of dollars in merchandise, online or over the phone, to be shipped to the new address. Because they change your address on your credit cards, they will bypass the AVS security feature from online merchants, and the charges will be approved. The only real defense against credit hijacking is to establish a personal security code with all of your bank accounts and credit cards. This is a form of security which goes beyond your social security number, zip code, date of birth, or your mother's maiden name to give you a whole new tier of personal security. This is a unique number or group of letters and numbers which you create and give to every credit card provider you have. For example, the number could be as simple as Jacob 2801, which is a combination of your best friend as a child and the numerical address of the home you lived in growing up. By establishing this security code with all your credit card providers, no one will be granted access to your accounts without providing it to them. Since you are the only one who knows this security code and it is non-public, it is truly secure. I have yet to find a credit card company which will not allow you to create such a passcode as an added layer of security. This video has been brought to you by the Credit Secrets Bible. For more information, please visit www.creditsecretsbible.com.